it smells so fucking good. Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. And today we are having a spicy chip mukbang, and it smells so good. Like the aroma of the chips are just hitting my face right now, and it's delicious. I got a bunch of different chips. I got some hot Cheeto puffs. I got some Doritos Flamas, I think they're called. I got some hot Cheeto fries, some hot Cheeto popcorn puffs, which are, I think, my favorite out of everything here. We got some spicy Frito-Lays. Yeah, spicy Frito-Lays. And I know we have one more, or I think that's it. Oh, and Takis. We got the Takis purple bag. I think they're the Fuego ones, I'm not sure, but they're the ones that come in the purple bag. Oh, sorry. And then I also got some lime that I'll just sprinkle here and there. And I got some nacho cheese, just in case I want to get crazy and dip it in that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually looking forward to digging into this, to be honest with you. I saw it and my mouth just started getting watery, so I'll start with, I haven't tried these, the Doritos ones. So I'll go ahead and try these. Ooh, those are good. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I have the original hot Cheetos. Get a little crazy, dip that in some cheese. Oh, okay. Oh, oh, with that cheese flavor. Oh, that's nice. So good. So I'm really excited for tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to have my friends over and we are all going to film the spicy chocolate challenge. So that should be really fun. I'm actually really excited for that, and that will be up pretty soon, so I'll go ahead and let you guys know when that goes up. You can go check it out. I'm gonna die, I already know it, so you can watch me suffer. Oh, this cheese is so nice. So Kim and I have been watching 2020 lately, and you guys already know I'm obsessed with murder mysteries and murder documentaries and all that good stuff. And we saw one last night, or 2 nights ago, that it's this guy, they call him BTK, the BTK Strangler. If you guys don't know who that is, you guys should definitely check him out. He's just this weird dude, pervert, just a weird guy. But it's so crazy because he had a family, you know, raising a daughter, you know, wife, everything. He was like a member of his church, like a director or something. So this guy just like had this perfect normal life, but he had this fixation with killing people, and he was just a weirdo. He didn't have a specific demographic of his, like, what his victims are. He just randomly chose them. Like, he just said, oh, you're that person walking down the street. Like, if he just felt like, he's like, I'm gonna go kill that guy or whatever. And he ended up killing a total of 10 people. And he started in the 70s in Wichita, Kansas. Everybody was shook. And he wanted to have this kind of like fame. He wanted to be known, so he started sending letters to TV stations and police stations and stuff saying, hey, I'm still out here. I'm the real guy. Because I think they had arrested somebody, I think 3 individuals, and he sent a letter right away saying, no, I did it by myself. I want to take all the credit pretty much. He wanted to be recognized, you know? They were interviewing the daughter, and I think she's like in her 30s now, almost 40s, or 40s, I think. And that must be so crazy, you know? Like, you have your dad, think everything's normal, and you see everything's good. And then he stopped for a while. I think he stopped for like a good 25, almost 30 years. And everybody kind of forgot about it. And this newspaper put out like this little article. Like it was a little section that said, you know, everybody forgot about BTK. Nobody remembers. So I guess it triggered this guy. And he said, no, I'm still here. Like, I need you guys to remember me. So he sent in a letter saying that he was still out there. He took a break, whatever. And he was kind of stupid because he asked police, he was like, hey, if I send you guys a floppy disk, are you guys able to trace it? And he's like, don't lie to me. Will you guys trace it? And then they said, no, it's okay. Go ahead and send it. So he ended up sending it. They found out that it had been sent, or like the file on it had been done at the church that he went to. And the computer was under his name, which was Dennis. And that's it. That's how they caught him. Can you imagine one of your parents, you know, you have a normal life, you grow up, everything, you get married, normal life, and then all of a sudden you just see on the news, oh, like BTK Strangler was caught, and then you end up finding out that it's your dad or it's your mom. That's insane. You guys, this juice is so good. These and the hot Cheeto popcorn puffs are my favorite. I was gonna do a little lime, but there's a lot. I don't want to get them all soggy. I mean, I guess I can do it on this side, on the hot Cheeto ones. Oh yeah. You know what? Why not? Yes. Look at that. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh, that's hot. Oh yeah. But yeah, going back to that, I don't even know how I would react finding out like my mom or something was a serial killer. And he had like a little murder kit in his closet where he had like duct tape and he had like a bunch of other crap, and he kept mementos of the people that he killed. So like parts of their clothes, some of their belongings, stuff like that, to remember like the victims that he killed or something. And when, you know, when he was getting interviewed, when he went in and he confessed, he remembered everything, and he just did it with such, like, he was so calm. He did it like, he was so nonchalant about it. Like, yeah, this is what happened. I did it, whatever. And even in the courtroom too, like when he was explaining what happened, like same thing. It's just crazy to me how you can go kill somebody and then automatically flip the switch and go back to normal. So get home, go to sleep, talk to your kids, talk to your wife, watch TV, go to work the next day. Like it's just so crazy how some people have that switch that they can just, okay, I'm gonna kill somebody, and then okay, back to normal. I love these documentaries when they do like a town like in Wichita or like just a small town or something, and they always say, oh yeah, it's a great, every time it has to deal with a murder mystery or a murder documentary, it's always like, oh, this was a great little town to live in, you know, a great place to raise your kids in. Like it always starts with that, like, yeah, it's a great town, hardworking people, great place to raise your kids. And I've noticed that trend. I guess it's those places where you don't expect something like that to happen, you know. Yeah, this guy was sick. He was just a disgusting individual, to be honest. He killed old ladies, he killed little kids, like he did everything. Like murdering obviously is just insane. You should never do it, obviously. Like it's just gross and disgusting in itself. But when you deal with like older people and like little kids, like you're just, that's another level of mental, you know what I mean? And we saw another one that had to do with this guy who killed 4 people up in Yosemite, and he had a brother who got kidnapped by this old dude. I mean, this old dude, like, he was a child molester. So the killer that ended up committing the murders, killed 4 women. His name was Cary. His brother's name was Steven, and that was his younger brother. So Steven was walking home from school one day. This old man stops him and he's like, hey, you want to ride? The little kid's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Got in. And that was the last time that they saw him after that. Well, for a couple years, but at that point. And this old man told them, he's like, hey, your parents don't want you anymore. Got into this little kid's head. I mean, this kid was, I think, 5 or 6 years old. I mean, pretty easy to brainwash kids, you know, sometimes. Took him far away and pretty much raised him, but at the same time, he was molesting him and raping him, and this kid was going through all this traumatic stuff. So Cary and Steven's parents, after Steven disappeared, they became cold, didn't really pay as much attention to their kids. They were pretty much devastated after that. And so Cary's getting a little weirder and weirder as you know, the years pass by. Steven over here gets his name changed because obviously the old man doesn't want him to get discovered. Changes his name, enrolls him in school, grows up, goes through this bull crap. And he's just this fun-loving dude, like, you know, he's so nice. And he got himself into sports, and he was just like a normal kid, like, you know, going through all this stuff, and he just still manages to be happy and everything. I think that was the craziest part about it. Like, this guy's mental fortitude was so, like, insanely crazy. Not crazy, but his mental fortitude was so good. Yeah, he just ended up being like this happy guy, you know, had a girlfriend even, like everything. But he's already older, he's like a senior. And in high school, the old man wants a new kid, you know, somebody younger. So he goes out, looks for one, he finds this little kid. And same thing, he's walking by himself, picks him up, takes him to the house. But Steven is there, and Steven sees this little kid. And in his mind, he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this little kid go through what I went through. Sneaks him out, and he's driving him around. He's driving the little kid around, and he's like telling him, he's like, where do you live? Where do you live? The little kid can't remember. He doesn't remember where he lives. So he's like, okay. Takes him to the police station. You know, comes in and stuff. And then he tells one of the officers, he's like, they were questioning him and saying stuff like that. And then Steven ends up saying, I remember my name is, all I remember is that my name is Steven. Because remember, he had his name changed and everything. And he's like, yeah, like, I remember my name is Steven. And then that's when they found out that he was a kid that got kidnapped years ago. And you know, he became like this big deal. Like everyone was saying, oh, you know, he's a hero because he ended up saving this little kid's life too, because you know, he snuck him out. He didn't want the old man to do the same thing to this little kid that had been done to him. Yeah, so he becomes this big hero. Interviews, TV shows, movie, everything. I think his brother was a little jealous. He didn't really like it. And his brother was getting all this attention. So they fought a lot. You know, this keeps on going. Steven got into drugs, alcohol and everything, and then he was finally starting to get his life straight. And Cary was kind of the same, you know, he kind of would go out into Yosemite, into the woods, and pretty much, you know, kind of do his thing, get high, forget about everything for a bit, get his mind off of stuff or whatever. And then Steven ends up marrying, he ends up having kids, but unfortunately he has an accident on a motorcycle, and he was riding his motorcycle, he got into an accident and he passed away. And it's like, man, that sucks, because this guy had gone through so much crap and he had been dealing with drugs and alcohol, but he finally got straight and he had a family and he was starting to get on the right path, and then this happens. And it's just, it sucks that stuff like that happens to those kind of people, you know. Cary, on the other hand, we're just spiraling downward and downward and downward, and then eventually we got to the point where we saw these 3 girls in a hotel room that he worked at knock on their door and said it was room service. You know, I think the mom, because it was a mom, daughter, and then the daughter's friend who had flown in from Argentina. And I think the mom was like, no, my girl's undressed, whatever. And he kept insisting. Anyways, he pretty much forced his way in with a gun, you know, ties them all up, ends up killing them, puts them in a trunk, and he leaves one of the girls alive, but he ends up killing the mom and one of the girls. So he gets their car, puts them in the trunk, takes it to the middle of the woods, burns the car, and she dumps one of the girls' body, you know, somewhere else. And they end up finding out, oh, you know, that these 3 girls were murdered. They didn't know who. They're investigating. They go in to interview Cary, and I guess Cary was like this, you know, he had such a calm demeanor, was very calm, answered all the questions, opened up all the rooms, you know, so that the FBI can go and collect evidence and stuff. And so then that didn't set off any alarm, so they were like, oh, okay, he's good. And that was it, pretty much. So essentially, he would have gone away with it until he decided to murder another girl who was up in the woods, you know, exploring and everything. She had stayed in a cabin, and she was gonna go home. And Cary had, you know, gone up to like a little area that was pretty much right by this girl's house, this girl's cabin. And he just looked at the girl and he saw that, you know, he just kept looking at her, saw that she was alone, and that's when he decided, hey, I'm gonna go and try to do something. And unfortunately, you know, he went up to this girl, pointed a gun, this girl fought back with everything, ended up tying her up, put her in the car, and he was starting to drive off. And I guess this girl was just like fighting like hell, you know, and then she ends up breaking out of the car, falls out. She ends up getting up and running away, and then that's when this dude comes and, you know, obviously catches up to her and just, you know, slits her throat. Very gruesome. Ends up decapitating her and stuff, and just leaves her body in the river. And it's just like, fuck, man, like, it's just insane to me how people can do that to somebody. Like, I don't know. He left a ton of evidence, got away. He went up to a nude community up near Yosemite and stuff, and initially they just wanted him to, they were looking for him for questioning. They didn't even think he was a suspect. So they go, they find him. It's this detective. He's taking him back to the police station, and it's a 4-hour ride from the nude community to the police station that they're trying to take him to. And like I said, at this point, like, he doesn't know that. They just want to question him. They didn't, you know, they don't know if this guy's done anything. But he ends up getting close to the guy. He starts opening up and he starts to tell him, like, hey, I did it. I murdered this girl. And then he opens up about the 3 murders that happened a couple months earlier. And they had no idea that they were connected. And so this guy pretty much, you know, confessed. But it was a weirdo. He asked the officer, he's like, I'll tell you everything if you provide me with some child pornography. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, I'm in a police station, bro. Like, that's just insane what people think, you know? But at the end of the day, it kind of goes to show you that, you know how some people say there's something that triggers somebody to become a serial killer? Or something happens, something tragic happens, something like there's sexual abuse or mental abuse or something happens that kind of molds this person to become a killer or a murderer. But in the case of Cary, you know, he wasn't sexually abused. He wasn't physically abused. He wasn't, like, he didn't go through anything really. And he ended up being a serial killer. And on the other hand, his brother, you know, gets kidnapped, gets raped for multiple years. You know, all the abuse and everything. And even when he got back, yeah, he was treated as a hero by the adults, but in high school he actually got bullied by everybody. And so to deal with that and to deal with the sexual abuse from the person that kidnapped him, and, you know, yeah, he went into this dark spot of becoming an alcoholic and getting into drugs, but he finally got out of it. And he didn't end up being a serial killer or murderer. What history has shown us is that you can't really put a description on a serial killer of how they look like or how they were raised or anything like that, because it just, I don't know. I honestly don't know how you can really say, hey, that's what made him a serial killer, you know what I mean? So I get that sometimes they go through trauma early and that might trigger it, but other people, maybe they're just, I don't know, they're just born a little bit less stable than other people. So I don't know. It's scary nowadays though. You never, like I said, I've said it before, you just never know who can be a serial killer. Well, you never know. Could be your neighbor. Could be doing some weird crap at night. Never know. Hopefully that's not the case though, but you know what I mean. Alright, you guys. This is really good. But I think I'm kind of at that point where I'm kind of done eating this. But yo, people that do challenges, I've seen the mountains of chips that they eat and they actually eat them all. It's insane. Even 2 people doing this, like, that's a lot. But oh my goodness, my fingers. I think this is like one of my favorite parts. I like licking my fingers after I eat like a bunch of chips like this. Oh yes. Woo. Yeah, that's good. Woo. Woo. Well, that is it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate all the love and support. I hope you enjoyed this video and had as much fun watching it as I did talking about all the little fun stuff I like talking about. Please comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I love reading your guys' comment. I love all the engagement. Thank you so much. And I will see you again very, very soon. Bye, guys.